right. So anyway, so today is the 8th anniversary of the passing of the R&B singer Aaliyah. Remember, she passed in a plane crash 8 years ago. She was coming back from a photo shoot in the Bahamas, which was really tragic, just out of nowhere. So rest in peace, Aaliyah.
Wendy Williams is stepping out with claims and evidence that shake everything up. She's pointing straight at R. Kelly, saying he kept secrets about Aaliyah's death right before his prison situation hit. The details being talked about are serious, and it's painting a picture that people around them were hiding more than they ever admitted. The proof being discussed is said to expose multiple people who are involved in making Aaliyah's life extremely difficult. Wendy wasn't just a random voice either. She had real connections to R. Kelly and even worked on a biopic about Aaliyah. That gave her access to information most people never got close to hearing. There have even been rumors that her deep knowledge is what made certain powerful figures uncomfortable with her presence. People started saying she knew too much, and that made others nervous about what she might reveal next. When someone has that level of insight into the industry, it can shift how everything is seen, especially when silence is expected. Aaliyah's passing is still one of the most heartbreaking moments in music history. She died in a plane crash in the Bahamas after filming her music video Rock the Boat on August 25, 2001, when she was only 22 years old. As soon as the news of her death hit the media, people everywhere started questioning the story being told. It did not sit right, and whispers grew louder that something deeper was being hidden. There were already talks about powerful men in the industry trying to get close to Aaliyah long before she was even 18, and that alone raised serious concern.
Like teenage girls.
When you say teenage, how are we talking?
Looking at the strange details surrounding her passing, many started to believe there could have been more going on behind the scenes. Reports and claims later surfaced saying Aaliyah did not even want to get on that flight, and she made that clear more than once. Still, the story goes that her wishes were ignored and things escalated in a disturbing way. Some accounts allege she was given something to make her sleep without proper consent, and once she was out, she was carried onto the aircraft. Those claims, if true, paint a very troubling picture of how events unfolded that day. What shocked many people is that her team never openly spoke about these claims at the time. The information only started gaining attention after a baggage handler, Kingsley Russell, who was young at the time, shared his version of events in a book. That added another layer to an already painful and mysterious situation. Claims around that moment are intense. According to one account, she was taken out of a van without fully understanding what was happening and ended up on the plane while asleep. The story being told is that Aaliyah never wanted to board that flight in the first place, and that detail keeps coming up again and again in conversations about that day. But the situation does not stop there. Even before her passing, Aaliyah was surrounded by complicated and controversial connections in the industry. There have been ongoing claims that certain powerful figures were overly involved in her life, and some people believe those same figures could have played a role in the events leading up to her death. Names like R. Kelly and Jay-Z often come up in these discussions, which has kept the conversation heated for years. Dame Dash, who was once very close to both Aaliyah and Jay-Z, has spoken about past tension. He claimed that while he was in a relationship with Aaliyah, Jay-Z tried to pursue her behind his back. According to that account, Aaliyah was not interested and turned it down, which reportedly created friction. At the same time, people continue to question why certain professional ties remained strong, despite serious allegations being publicly discussed, and that has only added more layers to an already complicated story. Some people questioned those choices, especially when Jay-Z continued working closely with R. Kelly, despite serious allegations surrounding him. He even went as far as creating a full collaborative album, Best of Both Worlds, and touring together, which had many people raising their eyebrows at the situation. But things reportedly took an even darker turn during that tour. There were claims that tensions between them grew fast, with rumors spreading that R. Kelly was threatening to reveal damaging information unless certain demands were met. Not long after that, a shocking moment happened at Madison Square Garden when R. Kelly suddenly walked off stage mid-performance. He later claimed he saw individuals in the crowd who he believed were there to harm him, which sent the situation into chaos. Soon after that incident, R. Kelly was removed from the tour, and the fallout got serious. He filed a massive $75 million lawsuit against Jay-Z for breach of contract, which completely ended their working relationship and made headlines everywhere. The situation did not calm down there either. Later, claims surfaced from someone who was reportedly incarcerated at the same time as R. Kelly, saying that Kelly believed Jay-Z was connected to what happened at Madison Square Garden. That claim only added more controversy to an already intense situation. He explained that he felt Jay-Z may have been uneasy at the time, especially since R. Kelly was seen as the bigger name during that period. According to what was shared, there were claims that days before the Madison Square Garden incident, R. Kelly believed he was receiving threats and felt they were somehow connected to Jay-Z. The situation sounded intense, and even he admitted it might come across as extreme, but that was the belief he held. The tension between them seemed to grow fast, with suspicion and pressure building behind the scenes. Stories like this only added more mystery to what was already a complicated and highly public situation, leaving people unsure about what was really happening versus what was being assumed. Then, things took another sharp turn with an old interview involving Nas and Wendy Williams. During that conversation, Nas openly accused Jay-Z of being connected to the situation involving Aaliyah and R. Kelly, which immediately grabbed attention.
Yeah, I could have put up movies. I could have showed the R. Kelly video that everybody's talking about, made fun of it, and said, yeah, Jay's hanging out. When Jay and them was in there doing Best of Both Worlds, you can't tell me Jay didn't see a 14-year-old girl come in the studio and sit on R. Kelly's lap. No.
Up until that point, many people did not realize how deep the situation might go. But once that statement was made, it pushed Wendy to start digging deeper into Aaliyah's story and everything surrounding it. That lines up with what she later said. In 2014, Wendy took things further by executive producing a Lifetime biopic called Aaliyah, the Princess of R&B. The reaction was immediate, and not in a good way. A lot of Aaliyah's fans were upset, saying Wendy was using Aaliyah's story for profit instead of protecting her legacy. Some people still believe that was part of the motive, but at the same time, that project is where Wendy reportedly came across deeper information about Aaliyah's life and the circumstances around her death. Being that close to the story gave her access to details most people never saw, and that only made everything more intense. Many people remember that viral clip of Wendy getting emotional on camera. It later turned into a meme, but at the time, it was not something people were laughing at in a serious way. That moment reflected how much pressure she was under while facing constant criticism over the biopic. What made it worse was how quickly the conversation shifted. Instead of focusing on what she might have been trying to reveal, the attention stayed on accusations that she was exploiting the situation. The backlash grew so strong that she eventually had to speak out and respond directly to everything being said. At the end of the day, it is still unclear exactly what Wendy discovered while working on that biopic. She was not able to include everything she learned, reportedly because of legal limits, which left a lot of unanswered questions hanging in the air. That alone made people wonder how much was being held back and why certain details could not be shared publicly. There are also claims that pressure started building around her before she could fully speak on what she knew. Some believe she was being pushed into silence, which only made the situation feel even more suspicious to those watching closely. As expected, people began sharing their own opinions online. One person said, "If Aaliyah were alive today, I believe she would have spoken out about R. Kelly after having time to reflect on everything." Another added, "I wish Aaliyah's family had taken stronger action back then. It might have stopped things from continuing." Comments like these kept spreading, with many people looking back at the past and questioning what could have been done differently. The conversation continues to grow, with strong feelings on all sides about what really happened and who should be held accountable. The deeper the story goes, the more questions keep coming up. People have been revisiting old interviews, clips, and behind-the-scenes moments, trying to piece together what was really happening around Aaliyah during those years. Every detail feels like it could mean something bigger, and that has kept the conversation alive for so long. Wendy continued to hint that there were layers the public still had not seen, suggesting that what was shared on the surface barely scratched the full picture. That alone made people even more curious, because when someone with insider access speaks like that, it makes you wonder what is still being held back. At the same time, others have pushed back, saying not everything being claimed should be taken as fact without solid proof. The mix of personal accounts, rumors, and secondhand stories has made it hard to separate truth from speculation, and that has only added more intensity to the discussion. Even now, Aaliyah's legacy remains strong, but so does the mystery surrounding her life and passing, and people are still searching for answers while trying to make sense of everything that has been said. What makes everything even more intense is how many people stayed quiet for so long. There are constant questions about who knew what and why certain voices never spoke up when it mattered most. In situations like this, silence can feel just as loud as any statement, and that has people looking at the industry in a completely different way. Some insiders have hinted that speaking out was never that simple. There was pressure, reputation on the line, and real fear about what could happen if the wrong information got exposed. That kind of environment can keep people quiet, even when they know something is not right. At the same time, others believe the truth has been slowly coming out piece by piece over the years. Old stories resurface, new perspectives get added, and suddenly things that once seemed small start to look much bigger. All of this has kept Aaliyah's story in constant discussion, with people still trying to connect the dots and understand how everything unfolded behind closed doors while the public only saw a small part of it. Now, it all comes down to you and what you think about everything that has been said. Do you believe the claims that Aaliyah was put on that plane against her will, or does that sound like something that doesn't fully add up? And what about the bigger question? Do you think this was all planned, like Wendy has been suggesting? There are a lot of strong opinions around this, and people are still divided on what really happened. Some see it one way, others are not convinced at all, and that's exactly why this conversation is not going away anytime soon. Drop your thoughts in the comments and say what you really think. Make sure you like, subscribe, share this video, and join the discussion.